What's up, boys? All right, so 46 contracts total. Most KOs and most finishes ever in a season. And to date, we've given away on the Contender Series 292 contracts. Let's do first.
Unbelievable episode, but unbelievable season, all in all. I mean, we had an epic war last week. We had some crazy spinning back elbows this week. Give us your thoughts on the season as a whole of Contender Series this year.
I mean, you guys know what I think of this. Show. It's so awesome. I wish we could do more than 10 a year. I wish the talent pool was deep enough. But you know, there are a lot of things that make this tough. I mean, visas right now are a nightmare. So I love it. I don't know what the question was, but I fucking love this show. It's great. These kids come in and they literally let it all hang out. It's very rare that we get a fight in here that you're like, you know what I mean?
You mentioned about I think it was the most contracts ever given out for a season this year. What do you attribute that to? Is that basically just the talent pool out there is getting better, so the fights in here are getting better, or why do you think more contracts are getting handed out at the moment for this year?
It's a good question. I don't know. Listen, obviously the talent, the show, the sport, I mean, everything evolves and gets better, and I think the mindset coming into this competition now, people understand what it's going to take to get signed, and maybe that's it.
You mentioned wanting to do more, but the talent pool needs to grow as you do this each year. Is there too much of a good thing, though? Do you know what I mean? Is it better to have this once a year so we can sort of miss it and then look forward to it? Or if you were able to, would you do 2 seasons a year?
I would do this every week for 52 weeks if it was possible. You know, this is what I like to do. Obviously, sitting cage side for some of the greatest fights ever with some of the greatest fighters ever is fun, but I love young guys that come in and or guys that are, you know, in their early 30s that this is it. This is their opportunity. They've been trying their whole career to get here, or this was their dream to get into the UFC and try to win a world title, and this is what I really love to do.
What is the status of Contender Series moving forward? Do you have a TV deal in negotiations? Do you think it could go to Paramount? Where do you think Contender Series will end up?
Yeah, it'll end up with Paramount.
Okay. Is that far along? Or you're just like crossing the T?
I just if you know, you ask me and I honestly answer you, I'd say it ends up at Paramount.
A random question, actually. Thinking of Paramount and the deal with TKO Boxing or Zuffa Boxing, is that the biggest deal done for a promotion that hasn't put on an event yet?
Definitely. I mean, it's definitely got to be.
And then outside of tonight, everyone keeps asking you about the White House card, but I wanted to ask about the January card in Paramount. And do you have anything special planned for that? And when do you start putting that?
Literally today. Matchmaking was today, and we started working on the first Paramount card today.
Okay. I'm not expecting you to say anything, but do you think there's a chance Ilia Topuria could end up on that card? Big star.
It's a possibility.
Okay. And then one last one for me. Last week, on Saturday, Charles Oliveira, crazy performance against Gamrot, called out Max Holloway for the BMF title. Don't know if you have any interest in that, but what did you make of Charles' performance and a fight with Max?
Yeah, I mean, that is obviously a fight that would be incredible, too, to see them two again. But, yeah, we don't have anything, you know. We talked about it today, though. Yeah.
Dan?
Yep.
When you see guys go out there and give it their all, but end up losing, getting knocked out, whatever it may be, does that make it easier to bring them back for the next season? Or, in your opinion, like, have they shown enough? That
like Malumba. Yeah, we'll bring him back next season. My thing to him is get out there, stay active, you know, keep working, and we'll bring him back next year for sure. Unless something great happens to him between now and then. And yeah, but yes, I mean, last week signed both guys and gave bonuses, and we don't give bonuses here. So yeah, if you come in and you show us something, I mean, when you think about the Contender Series, 10 straight weeks of just badass fights nonstop. So when you're coming into, you know, episode 5, 6, 7 of the last one, you know, you got to bring something special. Like, I'll give you an example too. Is, you know, when you think about the Marwan fight, right? This kid is undefeated. Was he 6-0 and 100% finish rate? And you know this kid's never faced any adversity, none in these fights. And then he gets dropped the way he does both times and back and forth war. We literally got to see everything from this kid as far as talent goes. Then you got to see heart, determination, chin, fight IQ. I mean, all of it. You saw everything that this kid has to offer. And he's only 23 years old. So I have very high expectations for him.
I guess the same kind of going along with the Asian kid that came in a little bit good until he got knocked out. Is he someone else that you would like to see go back out, or did he?
Well, Sean was telling me, he says, so the kid Diaz is being super hyped up by the PI in Mexico. Yet the other kid, the Korean kid, is the only kid we've ever brought in off a loss because he fought for the title in ONE FC. And Sean actually felt like, the Korean kid was the guy. And you don't know until it plays out. But that's part of the fun of tonight and doing the Contender Series.
Was that one of the loudest knockouts you heard in a minute?
Yeah, Koreans have a rough time with those elbows, man. Yeah.
One question outside of tonight. Obviously, this weekend in Vancouver, Reiner de Ridder is fighting Brendan Allen. Is there a chance if RDR goes out there and does something spectacular, he leapfrogs Nasruddin Imavov and gets that fight with Hamzat?
Listen, let's see how the fight plays out. I don't know. We did talk about him today, though. We did talk about Hamzat today. We're talking about everybody today. So we'll see. Before we start looking at next year and obviously the Paramount launch, the White House fight, a lot of things are going to depend on how the end of this year plays out.
How crazy is it to have Merab come in and fight?
I love it.
10 days ago, and now he's fighting for the title.
Listen, it took me a minute to warm up to Merab. I'm very warm now. I love that mentality. He wants to be the first guy to ever, defend his title that many times in a year. If you look at what he's gone out and done and how he's proven himself as a fighter and as a world champion, it's impressive.
And then one last fight on that card, Peyton Talbot versus Henry Cejudo. I guess what was the thought process behind that matchup?
For what fight?
Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot.
Oh, yeah. What about it?
I guess Henry says it's his retirement fight again, and he's and Peyton Talbot obviously is hot prospect, struggled with grappling in his only loss. I guess what was the thought process on this matchup, if there was any?
Fun fight. Yeah, we think it's a fun fight. And when you have a young up-and-coming guy like Talbot, you want to put him in against guys, a hardcore vet like him. So, love that fight.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just a few for me. Going back to last week, because we didn't get to talk to you, the Vlogdon-Martinetti fight, is that the best fight ever in the history of the show?
I think so. I mean, obviously that's, everybody has their own personal opinions, but my opinion is yes. I mean, it's one of the, not just in the show, it's a great fight, period, in fight history. It was a badass fight.
Obviously,
the only thing that sucked is there wasn't a crowd of like 18,000 people watching that fight.
You obviously proved how much you loved it with the bonuses. Is that something you'll consider going forward for future seasons of Contender Series, implementing a bonus like that you gave these guys?
Not really. I think that, I had never even considered it before, but then after that happened, I was like, first of all, neither one of these two are doing interviews. They're going straight to the hospital, number one. And number two, I'm just gonna throw some money at these guys. This was incredible, and we're signing them both. And I don't know, it was a moment. And I'll save that type of stuff for moments like that.
Last one for me. Thoughts on your first place New England Patriots?
Thoughts on my what?
First place New England Patriots.
Oh, how about that, right? I literally took a picture of that and sent it off to all my Buffalo buddies who are fans of Buffalo. Every year they're always telling me, this is Buffalo's year, this is Buffalo's year. And, and they all love that the Patriots haven't been doing well since Brady left. So, yeah, it was a good day.
speaking of, you wanted to have more people that fight that didn't get seats in here. You didn't have enough seats, but with the construction with the Apex, how much closer are we to the concessions getting open and then the seats finally getting?
This is going to be done. You know, we're right there. It's pretty much done now. So, Craig's here tonight too. Text Craig and ask him when this is going to be done.
And do you have any idea of like what sort of seat numbers?
Oh, a couple weeks? We're a couple weeks away. That makes sense.
That's amazing. Female bouts. We had some great female bouts this season, but we didn't have too many next season. And is that something that it's tough finding the female competitors to reach to this level, or is it just
I don't know. You'd have to ask the matchmakers that. Obviously, they're always looking for as much talent as they can find. Yeah, there must not have been a massive pool of females to bring in this season.
And I know every season it's hard to kind of just rate one season after another. I know the first season you loved just because this was a brand new thing. Is it easy to kind of rate what season is your favorite? Do you have a favorite season, or is it just every season it gets better and better?
It's hard to remember. You know, we're on our 9th season here, but you know, obviously this season broke a ton of records, great fights, first time ever, gave out bonuses. You know, there's all kinds of emotions when you come to fight. You've seen me run into the octagon, which I don't do, or signing both guys, which we rarely ever do. Bonuses, which I don't think I've ever done. You know, it's hard to rate one season. I love this competition. I love this show.
Last one for me, you know, going back to the Marwan Rahiki fight where he gets folded over at the very beginning, there's a lot of times refs get a lot of heat for stopping the fight early and letting the fight go longer. That instance, I thought the ref did a great job because we got to see what the fight happened.
I agree with you. And I could, you're dead right. I agree with you 100%. And what fight was it? The Oliveira fight could have been stopped earlier. They did a great job with that fight. Yeah, I agree.
Going along that Marwan fight, obviously you talked about how impressed you were with him facing adversity, but when we just factor things like simply his age, only 23 years old, basically a kid, does that surprise you even more that someone of his age can go through such a war and, you know, come out in triumph?
Well, I mean, you don't know who anybody is until they face adversity. John Jones was destroying everybody till that night in Toronto when he got taken into the deep water, and then you really knew who John Jones was. After that night, we got to see that tonight with him.
And then obviously it was just mentioned that Luna Vologden fight. People are still talking about that fight from last week. I just had a question for you. Have you had any word from, you know, how long those guys may be out after that, you know, brutal war?
We're going to give those guys a break. Yeah.
Fair enough. And obviously UFC 323, it's looking like a really stacked card to end the year. Do you think this is the perfect way to end the relationship with ESPN?
What's the question?
The UFC 323 is looking like a really good card for December to round out the year. Is this the perfect way to conclude the partnership with ESPN?
I mean, yeah, we're always going to try to put on the best cards that we can, but yeah, we've had a great relationship with ESPN, and you know, we were talking earlier, like everybody's already starting to feel it. Like there's a lot of relationships between the ESPN team that comes to all the fights and works, and the UFC team, and everybody's starting to feel it. You know, coming to the end here. So they've been great to us, and you know, they've been great for the sport. And yeah, we want to put on a badass last card for them.
Hey, Dana. Just recently, the UFC suspended Conor McGregor for the anti-doping policies that he for the restriction on that. Is he still going to be considered for the White House card since that'll be up in March?
I don't. We're not even looking at the White House card till February. We have literally not talked about one fight on the White House card yet. We won't even start till February. Okay. And then whether he's available or not, talk to Nowitzki about that.
Okay. And then about a month ago, you were sitting next to two of the most powerful men in the world, Trump and Elon Musk, at Charlie Kirk's memorial. What was that experience like, and why was that important for you to be there?
Yeah, obviously the Charlie Kirk thing affected a lot of people, including my daughter. I had my daughter with me. She goes to college down in Florida, and you know, she really took the Charlie Kirk thing hard. So, you know, she came with me, and yeah, I don't really know how to describe, you know, what it was like, but you know, I felt like I had to be there.
Hello, sir. You said that this season there were lots of problems with visas for the fighters, and you also mentioned that you want more Contender Series events. So, is there a possibility that Dana White Contender Series will go overseas next year? For example, Emirates, where you, Sean, and Mick always present, and or Europe?
The question was the Contender Series internationally? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Tonight, I mean, every week that we go on it, too, we trend number 1 or number 2. The only thing that really beats us when we think about how impressive that is Dancing with the Stars. Eric said we were number 2 tonight to Dancing with the Stars trending, and not bad for a big show like that on network TV, and we're on Plus. Yeah? Have a good weekend, you guys.
Prestige worldwide, wide.
Good reference.
First of all, congratulations on the win. Congratulations on a fantastic way to finish the fight. Talk to us about the emotions and what it's like to get a move that basically you know, I'm going to get a contract for that.
Man, I'd want to say it's a rush of emotions, but it's really not. I saw the opportunity. I'd hit him with some things, and he didn't seem like he was going to go out for anything I was throwing. So I thought, fuck this. Let's change what we're doing here.
Yeah. When you get that move locked in past a certain amount, do you know to yourself, unless this guy is the most flexible man in the world, I have this fight won?
I don't think I've ever actually tapped someone to that. I have a pretty rowdy training partner, and if I want to kind of settle him down and have him stop hitting me, I'll kind of put him kind of in timeout in that. This is my first time ever, like, you know, giving it the fucking beans and letting it loose.
It looks painful. Obviously, you got in there and out without much damage to yourself. Does that mean you get to come back and get in the UFC proper as quick as you want to, or do you want to take some time, digest this, get better, and get back in there? When do you want to fight in the UFC?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I'll probably think about that on the plane tomorrow. I'd like to get into the Performance Institute, and I mean, most like regional level guys, you get like dinged up or something, and you can really go see the doctor because they're expensive. And most people that do this and train full time, they don't have jobs that give them fucking insurance. Like, you don't go see a doctor when you get dinged up or anything. So I want to get out to the Performance Institute ASAP. Use all the services they have. Man, when the lady handed me like the packet with all the stuff they do, I was thinking, God damn, like I'm so excited for that. By the latest I'd want to get in is early next year, but I don't know, I'm always open for opportunities.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You mentioned the job. What do you do for a living?
I bartend.
Nice.
Yep, making drinks.
You obviously nobody messes with the bartender because they've heard that you got hands. I can imagine.
I don't know. I don't look very tough, and I sure as hell don't sound really tough. But luckily, I work in more restaurants, so I don't really get spat on or cussed out or anything unless I do a real, make a real big mess of things.
Well, I imagine now no one's going to try to argue about their bar tab at this point. I would think.
That's something I could get behind.
I was going to ask you. You've been here before. Second time's a charm. What happened, or what were the emotions like after that first time here, not getting the contract, not having your way to obviously take you to this point to where you are today?
The emotions were confusion. Where the fuck am I? Why are they loading me into an ambulance? A lot better this time around. I'd rather be sitting up here than where I was like a year and 2 months. No, maybe just about a year and 2 months ago. I mean, the first time I heard that I was going to be fighting on Contender Series was, I think, April of maybe May of 2024. So, I've been waiting to sit in that fucking director's chair, have Dana call me over for like over a year and a half now.
Did you know that you would get that chance again? Did you believe that you would get a chance? And I guess when you came here tonight, did you know that you would do anything you needed to make sure you get that win?
I visualized I was going to do something stupid, and it worked out for me. I'm glad it did. I'm glad I hit him. I'm glad I showed off my skills on my feet first, though. So I didn't just dive into something dumb. And I was pretty sure I was going to get called back. I don't think I did a good enough job putting on an exciting fight last time. Where I'm at least good to make a fight exciting, win or lose.
Congrats and welcome to the UFC.
Thank you.
Obviously, you were supposed to fight second time last year, but your teammate Nick stepped in and got the contract. Were you at least happy for that?
Yeah, no, I was very happy for that. I mean, it's always like bittersweet seeing something. You know what I mean? It's like if your like friend pulls like a pretty girl at a bar, it's like, fuck, that should have been me. I mean, but you still got to be happy for your pal.
Yeah, makes sense. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wes, congrats on the win.
I'm sorry.
2 quick ones for me. You mentioned the packet. Obviously, we don't get exposed to that. Give me a little insight into that, and what you saw, and we're like, oh man, I got to get this, and this for sure as far as that PI goes.
I saw someone giving someone like a massage or something. I think they just check out your whole body, nutrition, which I'm okay at that. I wouldn't consider myself like a great athlete by any means. I'm a rotten cage fighter. And I think they test all your like your heart rate. Like I don't even. It's so advanced, I can't even explain it to you. I don't even know what I don't know about this process, but I am really excited for it.
That's awesome, man. Congrats. And last for me, we opened the show with you coming back. We closed with the last fight of a guy coming back. Different paths. Someone got that contract. Someone didn't. Hit me with the words of inspiration for someone in your shoes that's going to deal with this one day.
Just fucking stay at it. I mean, not too long. I mean, there's a time where it's like, come on, man. Which, win or loss tonight, I think I would have kept at it. And I'm glad I get to keep doing this as my job. And I don't have to fucking bury Puddy time yet. He lives for another day.
Congrats on the win.
Hey, thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
I know you mentioned there it could perhaps be your last opportunity in the video package. So what would you say have been your biggest points of growth in your game since the last time we saw you here last year?
Less spinning shit and better head movement. I mean, when I'm fighting, I'm just thinking move my head, move my feet, keep my hands up, and breathe. And that takes me pretty far. Very nice. Thanks for having me, gentlemen.
Congratulations on the win. How are you feeling?
Primeiro de tudo, parabéns pela vitória. Como é que está se sentindo?
Estou me sentindo muito feliz, né? Tipo, com essa mão aqui, mas com um contrato assinado. Vim aqui, missão cumprida, e estou muito feliz por isso.
I'm obviously feeling very happy with this hand like this, but with the contract signed. So I'm very happy. That's one of the happiest days of my life.
You hurt your hand, obviously, bashing your opponent's face in.
Então, basicamente, foi porque você estava afundando a cabeça do camarada?
Eu vi que ele aguenta muita porrada, né? Eu acho que foi isso, né? Um cara duro, valorizou muito a luta, me deu uns golpes bem duros. E eu acho que, foi isso, né? Tipo, eu precisei apertar um pouco mais e aconteceu isso.
Yeah, I mean, tough dude, tough guy that actually just enhanced the spectacle, and a guy that just also hit me hard as well, and I needed to press it a little bit, and that's what happened.
Were you surprised that the fight lasted as long as it did? It felt like the fight could have been stopped a few times, especially when you dropped him that second time. I guess just what are your thoughts on that?
Você acha que a luta poderia talvez ter sido parada um pouco antes, especialmente quando você deu, acho que o segundo flashdown nele ali, de repente dava para parar? Você acha ou realmente estava dentro dos conformes? Ele teve a chance dele?
Não, ele teve a chance dele. Ele estava vivo ainda. Eu vi que ele estava vivo. Portanto, eu levantei no ground and pound. Eu vi que realmente ele estava consciente e precisei fazer ele levantar para me poder executar ele de uma forma melhor.
No, I think he was very alive and well. I mean, we saw him. He was looking live down there. So that's why in the ground and pound, I just kind of got back up and stood him up. Because listen, I need to execute this. Let's finish it.
Has it hit you yet that you won a UFC contract and you are a UFC fighter?
Já caiu a ficha que você ganhou um contrato no UFC e você é lutador do UFC?
Ainda não caiu a ficha. Ainda tô ainda sem acreditar ainda nisso tudo que está acontecendo. Realmente ainda não caiu. Eu acredito que vai cair quando eu estiver deitado no travesseiro e realmente aí eu vou começar a pensar que, caraca, eu sou um lutador do UFC.
Not yet. No, it has not dawned on me that all of this is happening. I think it's going to when I put my head on the pillow and just kind of rest tonight and goes, damn, I'm a UFC fighter.
Was this the first time you fought in Las Vegas?
Primeira vez que você lutou em Las Vegas?
Primeira viagem internacional. Tudo novo, tudo novo.
A first international trip. Everything is new. Everything was new.
How have you enjoyed America?
E como é que tem sido os dias na América? Como é que tem sido esses dias aí?
Então, eu não curti muito ainda porque eu precisava cumprir essa missão como um bom militar, né? Falei, eu vou focar aqui na missão e depois a gente conhece um pouco da América que eu já vi que é muito linda.
I really didn't get to see much because I needed to accomplish the mission. As a guy from the military, we came here to do some things and duty called. So, mission accomplished. So I would really like to see some because I think it's a beautiful country.
And finally, when would you like to return and make your official UFC debut?
E finalmente, quando é que você gostaria de voltar a lutar no octógono e fazer a tua estreia no UFC?
O quanto antes. Né? Primeiro eu vou ver essa mão, ver como é que ela está, se ela está bem, e voltar, né? Voltar e poder performar no UFC e ganhar meu primeiro bônus de performance.
Earlier the better. Let me see how this hand is, see how it goes, and come back and fight and get my first fight in the UFC, my first bonus.
Congrats.
Parabéns.
Parabéns pela vitória. Quem é a luta dos sonhos no UFC? Parabéns pela vitória. Quem é a luta dos sonhos no UFC?
Quem é a luta dos sonhos no UFC para você?
A luta do sonho, né? Tipo, eu sou muito fã do Jair Adesanya, só que é uma categoria acima, né? Mas, cara, eu não sei, mas na minha categoria, a luta dos sonhos é com o Usman. Eu acho que é um cara que eu me inspiro muito. E, pô, eu até me identifico um pouco com ele, né? Pela garra que ele tem. Eu acho que uma luta com ele no futuro, assim, tipo, um pouco distante, mas seria uma luta sensacional para mim.
My dream fight would be Israel Adesanya. I love the guy, but obviously it's one weight division up, so probably not. But in my division, I think Kamaru Usman, because as a guy, I just identify a lot with the guy because of the guts and how gritty he is. So obviously in a distant future, but I'd love to fight him.
My Portuguese doesn't allow me to respond in that way, but any other guys you looked up to growing up that, helped you get to this position?
O português dele não permite que ele responda à altura, mas ele gostaria de saber. E outros caras do UFC? Tem outros lutadores que te inspiram, que você gostaria de lutar?
Na minha categoria, é só porque eu só vejo só os caras acima. Tipo, eu realmente me baseio nos caras do topo. Então, eu fico vendo muito, tipo, da categoria Alex Poitin, eu vejo muito esses caras, mas na minha categoria, eu vejo Leo Adams, tipo, esses caras, assim, que me inspiram, né? Tipo, sempre vejo esses caras, como é que eles se movimentam, o que eles fazem. Então, eu fico realmente focado nesses caras, porque eu quero chegar no topo. Então, eu fico visualizando o topo.
I always look at the top. I mean, obviously, outside of my division, like Poatan, but I always look, if you think of my division, like I look at the top because I want to be at the top. And you think guys like Leon Edwards, like I just see how they move, how they react, and I'm focused on the top, so that's why I tend to look up there.
Congrats on the win. Go over to your left. Usually I'll ask the guys to walk me through that finish, but on this one I'd like to ask just that where that experience came from. So many times we're yelling at the screen, let the guy get back up. You could finish him. Don't go crazy. Don't give him a chance to get his breath. But where did that come from? The experience, the maturity to be able to do this on the fly and really get that kill shot like you wanted it, because we could see it in your eyes that you were going to get that finish.
Normalmente ele pergunta, uma pergunta que ele sempre faz faz o passo a passo de como terminou a luta e conta pra gente. Mas no teu caso, a gente gostaria de saber um pouco de onde que vem essa experiência. Porque muitas vezes a gente está vendo, como jornalista, como fã, a gente olha para a luta e fala assim, não, pô, deixa o cara, não vai para cima não, deixa o cara, tenha paciência, manda o cara levantar para dar uma porrada no cara. Você, para ter essa calma no momento, entender que naquela hora ali, não, eu vou, como você falou, levanta para tomar uma porrada. Você sabia o que fazer, você não foi com aquele afã, você sabia que o momento ia chegar, na hora que ele levantasse, que tu ia meter a porrada em si. De onde que vem essa experiência que te deu essa calma para fazer o que você fez hoje?
Então, acho que tudo que eu passei, né, tipo, na minha infância, na comunidade, toda a experiência na tropa paraquedista. Então, eu acho que isso, né, isso definiu muito isso hoje. Tipo, tá aqui no Dana White Contender City, na frente do patrão e conseguir executar a missão da melhor forma possível, como ela foi.
I think everything I've been through in my life, everything from the community, for how I grew up, also to be in the military and in parachute troopers. So like that's what allowed me to have and also be here in front of the boss, in front of everybody, to be able to come, you get your mission, you accomplish your mission.
Congrats on the win. Can't wait to see you parachute into your first fight.
Parabéns pela vitória e mal podemos você cair de paraquedas na tua primeira luta no UFC.
I'm glad you elaborated on your military career. I was just going to ask for a little bit more info as for what you did, but you talked about the parachute troop that you're a part of, and I believe that's part of what your nickname is as well.
Ia falar um pouquinho mais sobre a tua carreira militar, que você mencionou a tropa paraquedista. É daí que vem o teu apelido?
Sim, PQD, paraquedista, tem tudo,
So that's where it comes from.
Abreviação.
It's the abbreviation of PQD. Is paraquedista, meaning so parachute.
And I know I come from a military family. I know a lot of people always joke about people that jump out of perfectly good airplanes and perfectly good helicopters, but then you obviously must like risk. You like adrenaline because then now you jumped into fighting. Was it just a logical transition, or was it something even while you were in the military that you thought about fighting as a possible career choice?
O Kenny vem de uma família militar também e esse pessoal sempre fala que o pessoal que está na carreira militar, que acaba entrando em tropa paraquedista, o pessoal fala assim, vocês sempre tem esse benefício de sempre, é uma brincadeira que o pessoal faz, vocês sempre pulam de aviões em tremenda e helicópteros em ótimas condições, né?
A gente salta.
Jump. Correcting the verb on it. Mas dessa vez você resolveu saltar para uma outra coisa. Você resolveu saltar para a luta, uma coisa que incerta na tua vida. É isso que de onde saiu essa vontade de fazer isso, uma coisa tão mais incerta?
Então, eu cheguei na academia, né? Tipo, eu tinha operado a apendicite, né? Eu precisava treinar. Aí eu treinei, cheguei lá com na sobrancelha, brinco. E gostei da situação ali da luta. Tipo, eu gostava de sair sangrando. Eu falei, caraca, eu quero levar isso como vida, né? Tipo, poder ganhar dinheiro com isso. E eu acho que a paixão pelo esporte ali me fez gostar muito disso. Aí só complementou, né, a tropa paraquedista.
Depois.
Isso veio depois. Então, aí meio que meu pensamento acertou, né? Alinhou, tipo, a tropa paraquedista, a disciplina, a hierarquia, a vontade, o foco, realmente não ter dúvida do que você quer. Eu cheguei a fazer uma luta sem treinar, então a tropa paraquedista realmente me deu essa disciplina e a cabeça, tipo, realmente não ter dúvida do que você quer. O caos pode estar o que for e você vai lá tem que executar o que foi feito para fazer.
When I got to the gym, I get to the gym and I had, my eyebrows pierced, just had earrings on. I'm like, I see that and I'm like, I like this. Started fighting and I started training. I like that feeling, man. You come out bloody out of war, basically at all out war, and I just like that feeling, and that set me up. Like I became a different person. I just started to enjoy that, the method, the consistency, and the discipline, and then you get to the troops, and then you get into parachuting. It's the thing about you having something to do. First of all, discipline, hierarchy, just obeying, just following orders, and also the chaos could be installed everywhere. But you still have to keep your calm, and you still have to perform admirably, and you still have to do your duty and execute. So it all kind of came to the person that I am today. I loved it, and it just helps you, again, in the face of chaos, performing and mission accomplished.
Last question on that. Do you still stay in touch with your brothers in the military, and do they find inspiration for what you are doing now, and do you still get inspired by what they're doing as well?
Pouco sobre segmento para essa pergunta. Você ainda mantém contato com a galera, todo mundo da tropa, o pessoal que estava junto contigo da tua vida militar? E alguns vêm, você sabe se o pessoal vê inspiração no que você fez, o pessoal te segue, o pessoal sabe acompanhar você?
Sim, o comandante me mandou mensagem, né? O pessoal bem ativo. Me mandou mensagem, teve o UFC Rio, né? Ele falou, cara, eu quero te ver aqui no UFC Rio. Tipo, para ver que o trabalho foi bem feito, né? Tipo, o coronel, o comandante do batalhão ter essa relação com você e você chegar lá e ministrar instruções para outros militares e poder ter essa relação significa que a missão foi bem cumprida, você chegou lá e fez o que tinha que fazer. E, cara, isso já é tudo, né? Por você poder entrar e sair a qualquer momento no batalhão.
Yeah, the commander actually texted me and he said it because it was UFC Rio. I was like, dude, I want to see you here. I want to see you here because that's the feeling of, like, if you think about the colonel, the one that the head of the troops, those that commanded them all, to have this relationship with people, and that again, you led men that followed orders and that accomplished things in life, and the fact that you can always go back to the troops when you want, is that means that you can be in and out of there, and you're always welcome.
Perfect.
Congrats on winning tonight and winning the contract. How are you feeling right now?
Thank you. I'm feeling good. I feel like I've deserved this, and I was working for it, and now I'm really happy that it worked out.
Obviously, we saw you face adversity tonight. So walk me through that. What was it feeling like when you got knocked down there early, and then obviously at the end?
I don't remember that. When did I get knocked down? No, it was just, I was there the whole time. I wasn't out. I was thinking, all right, this guy, I kind of like, I didn't give him enough respect, and I paid for that. And I made like me and my team, like my team just comes to me after the first round. It was like, all right, like no more knees, just stick to it, like change, like just small details. We just reset, and I knew walking to the second round, I was believing, all right, this is getting done. Like I know I'm better, and all right, let's fix this tonight.
Not sure if you caught it, but Dana White said when they usually see someone with the contract or with the record you had prior into this, so they see, you get those guys out of there early and all that, they're like, oh, well, maybe he hasn't faced much adversity. And so when you saw what you ended up doing tonight, I was pleasantly surprised. So, what'd you make of that?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking I was coming here, I'm going to knock him out in the first, within 1 minute. And sometimes, it doesn't go the way you imagine it goes, but you have to have, like, the heart. You have to have something within you. Like, I had in me, when I got dropped, I was thinking to myself, like, this is my dream. Like, this guy just dropped me. I just got knocked down. Everyone's seeing this, and this is my dream. It would be so embarrassing to just go back home and just, after, like, losing by a KO or something like this. It was really a scary nightmare, and I was like, no, I gotta I gotta dig deep for this one. I gotta win, and I knew once I'm gonna get him, there's no way. I knew I'm better striker, and even in grappling, he wasn't gonna do anything. He just called me with big shots. He really hits hard. Like, I've never eaten a punch like that. He got a lot of muscle in him, and I've let him to just get that close and land a punch. And I still believe I could have finished him within a minute, but it doesn't work like that. So I'm learning, I'm still young, and I've only debuted last year, and so my pro debut was just last year, and I'm learning about this. Guys here has been professionals for like 7, 8 years, 6 years, and I'm still young, and I'm still new to MMA, and I'm really glad and happy that I'm really grateful that this is going this way.
Speaking of learning, I think these are the fights where, fighters learn a lot, going back and forth like that. So I know you're happy for the contract right now. You're in a high, you're going to the UFC and everything. But when you look further beyond winning the contract, do you see perhaps an even more valuable lesson in what just you learned tonight in the cage?
Yeah, definitely I've learned a lot tonight, like it's never been this hard. I don't think I've lost a round in my whole professional career. I think every round I won. Most of them was first round, and the last couple of fights were like, my fifth fight went to the fourth round, and obviously I was winning the whole fight, but I got like submission at the end. And then my last fight was against a more experienced guy, and I faced a little bit of adversity. I got clipped in my eye a little bit, and I couldn't see, but I learned from that, and I was like, all right, I gotta dig deep, and I gotta get doing, and I got TKO in the second round. It's similar tonight. I got dropped twice this first round, but also if you look at the whole round, I feel like I dropped him too. I've had some good positioning, and mistakes, and I just learned from my mistakes. That's like a blessing.
I know you just mentioned there, you're a bit on the newer side to mixed martial arts. What did you do before MMA?
I did amateur kickboxing, and I started from Morocco, and then the last 3 years when I moved to Australia, I've never been pro in kickboxing. I did like 13 or 15 amateur kickboxing fights. It was just like regional, nothing too big. I've never won like a world champion or something, but I've learned a lot from kickboxing experience. I trained for many years without even having a fight. I was just training. I've had a dream, and I just had a vision, and I was watching the UFC since 2019. 2019, 2020, and I was like, this is what I want to be. I got to work on my striking, because I think people find that a lot of fun, and they like it. And I'm like, I want to be the most exciting fighter in the world. And like, this is exactly what I did tonight, and this is exactly what I've earned the contract for.
Obviously, you mentioned they're also watching the UFC in 2019-20. I know that's a time where especially Israel Adesanya was very hot, and then you mentioned in the pre-fight that that's someone you look up to. So just what about Izzy really sparked the interest for you?
Yeah, because he was in Glory kickboxing, and my dream was to fight in Glory. I thought that was cool, but then he was just in UFC, and like he won the belt, and he's doing all these cool striker things and winning by knockouts. So I was like, well, I just need to learn how to defend the takedown.
Awesome. So obviously we got the UFC contract now. So if perfect scenario for you, when and where would you like to debut?
I have so many thoughts. If you ask me what I really want to do, I want to debut in Abu Dhabi in the next week. But I don't think they're going to let me do that. Maybe UFC Qatar, I would like to do that. If not, 6 December in here again in, I don't know, 220, I think, UFC 320. I'm not sure. But if, the best, and also like UFC Sydney in February 1st next year, that would be really amazing because, I have a lot of, I'm Moroccan, but in the past 3 years, I've gained so many fans in Australia, like so many people in Australia. It's kind of like, it's crazy to have both sides, supporting you, and like, it's just insane, like the Australian people, they treat me like I'm Australian, and Moroccan people, obviously I'm Moroccan. So it's just crazy, and I'm really grateful for this thing in my career, like to have two big countries and following me and like supporting me.
Any guys you want to face, and maybe not necessarily in the debut, but maybe someone you just want to share the cage with further down the line?
In the UFC fights?
Yeah,
someone I want to fight?
Yeah.
Probably John Silva. My last fight was actually against someone who has beaten John Silva by decision, and I've destroyed him in 2 rounds. Like 1.5 round, I just dominated him, and just, there's a level to this, and I think give me 1 year, year and a half, less than 2 years, I think I'll be like top 15.
Last one for me. What's it like representing Morocco and Australia for you?
Sorry?
What's it like representing Morocco and Australia?
I'm proud of it. It's just, I'm honored to have that. So I'm really happy, and I love both sides, There's nothing but, the best thing better than having one country that supports you is having 2 countries. You can't I can't be like, no, that's amazing. Thank you.
Just one, you mentioned that the excitement of just coming in here, you're so young in the game. A lot of fighters that we hear come through, veterans, still get the nerves, still get the butterflies when they're going out there. But I feel like the career is happening so fast and everything just kind of coming at you. Did you have any butterflies or nerves in here, or is it just another exciting rush that's happening for you tonight?
I think that was my mistake. I was coming here being confident, thinking, just another day. I should have given it more respect, give the moment more respect, and more like, all right, this is really big. I keep trying to imagine it. This is crazy. Like, this is for the UFC and all this. But it's just like, I've never faced that much adversity in my fight. So tonight I've learned a big lesson, and moving on, you're gonna see me better and better.
And I want to say it was maybe your fight that Dana was talking about, that he would have loved if there was a crowd out there. How different are you of a fighter if there was thousands of people out there watching? How different of a fighter are you if you're able to perform for fans?
I think that's the kind of fight that Dana gives a fight of the night and performance of the night. That's 100Ks. So it would definitely be crazy. But also, even it wasn't that many thousands of people tonight, but you heard it was loud, and I could hear people like after that, it was like going crazy, and I was like, wow, this is really good.
And I know it's Las Vegas, it's fight capital of the world, it's the UFC apex, but it's still Las Vegas. Was this still a very special, huge win for you?
In the win, yeah, it was. Yeah, it's just, that's the dream. That's like what I've dreamed about. This is what I've imagined while like thinking, this is what I want to be, this is what I want to go, and then you work so much. You dedicate so much for one moment. Imagine you work 3 years for one moment, or more than 3 years, and then you go through a lot of things, and the moment comes, and you be like, oh, this is happening. Like it's I don't know how to explain that feeling. Like people that experience this would know what I'm talking about. Like it's just, I don't know. I don't have the exact one word to express this, but it's just beautiful, and I'm so grateful.
Congrats on the win. To your left, just quick, we're noticing that cut. Is that something that needs stitches, like a 30-day suspension, or?
No, it's not a stitches. It's just a scratch.
And when you mentioned representing these 2 countries because they're holding you down, can we envision you one day walking out with both of those flags?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it would be cool.
Awesome stuff, man. We saw the Morocco Devil here. Did I miss anything in the package where he came to support you, Yusuf, or what's going on there?
Yeah, that was the first time me meeting him. It's funny. The other day, he messaged me and he said he will come to my fight, and he was asking me if I need anything. And and I say, yeah, I'm good, and like it's gonna be good because obviously he fought like just 10 days before, and it was good for him, like good win, big opponent, and just to have him coming here. I was gonna say in 2020 he was in UFC, and when he messaged me, I was looking through the other messages that we had before. And I remember like when he won, I was sharing his win. I was like, I've been a fan of this guy like in 2020. That's crazy. Like I'm glad he can see that. You know, like it's just like seeing him. He was Moroccan in America and like doing this in UFC. That's exactly what I wanted to do as well. Like I was thinking, all right, this is gonna happen. I was still in Morocco then. I moved to Australia in 2022. But I just, since then, like I was always, all right, this is the dream. We just gotta keep following. And I can't, you know, when you come from somewhere where like no one have done it from there, they always say to you, oh, you can't do this from here. Like it's gonna be hard, you know. Like I've heard so much about this. Like just, oh no, like nah, just you gotta find a job. You gotta go to university and these things. I've subscribed to university at the start of the year. I've never been there. For 2 years, I've been doing this. I go the first day and I pay and I subscribe and I do all these things, but I've never go. I just train, jiu-jitsu, do some pad work. I go with my friends to the forest and just spar for like an hour. That was like just keeping my dream real. And then moving to Australia in 2022 at the end, I find Lions Den and it was just like the perfect place. I don't imagine another place that I would be doing this. Like I've been getting all these things like just worked magically, perfectly. My coach just believed in me and like, I remember a couple of days in the gym, he just asked me, oh, what you want to do? You want to do MMA? Okay, I'll get you a fight. And it just been like that since the start. He believed me. He got me, even I don't have that many year experience, go to pro, won my first debut in 2 weeks notice. Like it's just, you really need someone to really believe in you to like, let you do these things, because to find a fight is hard, especially in Australia, like especially for me, because I was Moroccan, coming from Morocco, and everyone's thinking, oh, I have this crazy kickboxing. I've never even have a professional kickboxing fight, and it was hard to get fights, so I had to take short notice fights. But yeah, like we trained hard, we just worked for this, and we knew we had the plan. The start of this year, I was 3-0. All right, and we were like, all right, this year we're gonna get 3 more wins, and we're gonna make it to the Contender Series, and here we are now.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for sharing that, because, you know, if somebody's telling you to get a job, go to a university. Well, now you have a job for UFC.
This is my job. That was
this is your university, man.
There's no one can pass that interview. That's like, this is the hardest job interview ever. And people just like, oh, you got to work. And I've worked. I actually did jobs. I've worked in construction. I've worked in the kitchen like a chef. I did food delivery. I've worked some hard jobs. But I always knew, all right, I'm going to do this. And I know I hate this now. But I'm just going to do it. And I know I'm going to train, like doing this at the same time as like fighting. It was some crazy thing. I remember like waking up in the morning, 4 a.m., like my legs numb, like I can't even walk, like my knees. It was some crazy last year and the year before. It was like, but I knew 2 years better than doing this for 20 years or the rest of my life. I'm going to do it. I'm going to push hard and just keep my thoughts in my head and listen to only like loyal people that want to see me like at best. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just can't, I don't have that many friends that just comes and be like, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Like, I have my teammates and that's it. Like, boys in the gym, that's the only people I have. Like, just sport people, like, and people with dream like me.
Love it, man. Congratulations on that. So excited to see you and Yusuf be pioneers of Morocco MMA, and how much better to have done it with this Rocky Balboa type of fight. Well done, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Bueno, felicitaciones, Juan. ¿Cómo se siente? Sé que es un momento muy especial esta noche.
How are you feeling about this special moment tonight?
Gracias, la verdad que es una noche bastante especial y qué manera de entrar al UFC, ¿no? La verdad que es algo que he soñado bastante tiempo y ahora que se está cumpliendo es casi que no lo creo, pero lo estoy tratando de disfrutar y procesar.
Thank you. It's been obviously more than a special night. What a way to actually get into the UFC. I'm trying as much as possible to believe it's happening. I worked a lot, really hard for this, and I'm just trying to make, I'm trying to believe this yet. So it's not yet. Not dawned on me yet.
Bueno, tu knockout ya está volviendo viral en redes sociales, ya lo publicó SportsCenter, todo el mundo. ¿Cómo se siente cuando lo piensas así que ya, sabes, todo el mundo ha visto tu knockout?
Y la verdad que se siente muy bien, muy bien. La verdad que he trabajado mucho ese codo y ahora que se esté viendo por todos lados, nada, digo, wow, o sea, se pudo, se hizo.
And now that your knockout has become viral, it's been on SportsCenter, it's out there. How does it feel? Well, it feels great because I've actually worked on this. Listen, we worked on it, like I said, and we made it happen. Yeah, we could, and we did it.
Bueno, tu oponente, sabes, tiene un muy buen estilo y sé que mostraste ahí paciencia, sabes, para llegar a ese momento. Entonces, ¿cómo te sentiste tú dentro del octágono, sabes, hasta que llegó el momento especial?
Sí, la verdad que ya lo había visto pelear, lo estudié. Entonces, la verdad, no me sentí en peligro en ningún momento y al contrario, yo sentí que le estaba haciendo daño, se estaba cansando, entonces vi mi oportunidad y la aproveché.
As far as my opponent, I had seen a lot of his fights. I studied him a lot. I didn't fear him. I didn't feel that I was in danger anytime. Quite the contrary, I think I was damaging him. I think he was getting tired as well. And when I saw that opportunity, I took advantage of it.
Bueno, y últimamente hemos visto, sabes, más peruanos entrar a la UFC, entonces ¿crees que un momento como el tuyo de esta noche ayuda a aumentar ese número todavía más?
Perdón, no escuché.
Que hemos visto muchos más peruanos entrar a la UFC últimamente y ¿crees que un momento como el de esta noche ayuda a aumentar ese número?
Sí, la verdad que ojalá que esto abra más puertas porque hay muchos peruanos muy buenos, también en realidad toda Latinoamérica tiene mucha potencia y pues cada vez lo estamos demostrando más que los latinoamericanos podemos contra todo el mundo.
I think this opens as far as Peruvians coming into UFC and you being one more of those. Really some great Peruvian talent lately. We have a lot, and not just in Peru, and I hope this opens doors for all of them, but not just in Peru, but all of Latin America. We have a lot of talent, and we need that opportunity.
Y mencionas toda Latinoamérica, tienes ahí a Esteban apoyándote, sabes, toda Latinoamérica te apoyó esta noche. Entonces, para ti, ¿cómo ha sido, sabes, entrenar en toda Latinoamérica, en México, Argentina, todo el mundo?
Y la verdad que he aprendido mucho de todos lados, me siento un poquito, mi corazón está en Perú, mi corazón está en Argentina, mi corazón está en México, ya que he estado mucho tiempo en esos lugares, así que llevo la sangre de esos países, sangre guerrera, la verdad, sangre que merece estar aquí.
And you actually have, talking about representing all of Latin America, you have Esteban Ribovich here with you, and how does it feel to represent, you represent so many different countries, and it's true. I actually take with me, I think I represent Peru, I represent Argentina, I represent Mexico, I've been there for such a long time. I think I do take on, the blood of these places, and I do think I represent them really well.
Y tu división, la peso gallo, históricamente ha sido una de las mejores del deporte. Entonces, ¿qué piensas de lo que está pasando actualmente en la división peso gallo de la UFC, lo que está haciendo Merab? ¿Y tú qué crees que puedes cambiar cuando llegues tú?
Y la verdad que Merab es un gran campeón, pero nada, yo vengo acá para quedarme, para mantenerme y hacer pelea por pelea hasta llegar al título. Quiero que conozcan mi estilo, quiero que recuerden mi nombre, mi apodo y nada, que cuando mencionen mi nombre se acuerden del peleador que soy.
As far as the bantamweight division, what do you think is happening here? I think Merab is a great champion. I think it's great what he's doing, but I'm coming in right now because I want to be active. I want to stay. I want to go step by step, fight by fight. I want people to remember my name, my nickname, and understand what I'm about.
Y ya que eres peleador de la UFC, ¿cuál es tu escenario, sabes, perfecto? ¿Dónde quieres debutar? ¿Contra quién? ¿Sabes? ¿Cómo te lo imaginas?
Mira, me gustaría debutar ahora en diciembre junto con mi amigo y compañero Brandon Moreno en la cartelera de él aquí en Vegas. Nada, la verdad que con el oponente que me pongan voy a estar listo, la verdad no me duele nada, me siento bien y si me dicen para pelear voy a estar listo.
I think I would like to debut here in Las Vegas, feeling ready to go, alongside my partner, Brandon Moreno, who's fighting in December here in Las Vegas. Whoever the UFC puts in front of me, I'll be ready. We'll be right here.
¿Te dijeron algo ahí ahorita después de que ganaste? ¿Te dijo alguien de la UFC algo de pelear en esa cartelera o todavía no han dicho?
Y me dijeron que podría ser, maybe not, pero, pero bueno, está en dudas y ojalá que con mis managers y ojalá que empujen para que se haga esa pelea.
The UFC has not said anything. Maybe not, but maybe there's some doubt. But maybe with my managers working, I may get that fight in December.
Y sé que sabes, no te importa contra quién te toca en el debut, pero ¿tienes una pelea de sueños en la UFC?
Y me gustaría, la verdad, obvio, pelear con Merab por lo intenso que es. Peter Yan, la verdad, sería un peleón. Y, o sea, por ahora tengo esos dos así como en la mira, pero bueno, creo que queda un buen camino por recorrer y disfrutar.
As far as dream fights outside of your, you know you can't control your debut, but what it would be, I mean, obviously, for Merab, to fight Merab as the intense guy that he is, be a great fight. Also, Peter Yan, it'll be great to fight Peter. But, you know, those are the two that come to mind.
Por último, ¿cuál es el mensaje para todos los fanáticos y ya todo el mundo que te va a ver pelear como peleador de UFC?
Que muchas gracias por apoyarme, de donde me estén viendo, de Perú, de Argentina, de México, de cualquier parte de Latinoamérica o del mundo. Muchas gracias por su apoyo, muchas gracias por todo su amor y acá llegó Pegajoso para quedarse y pronto voy a ser campeón, recuerden.
I would like to, you know, as a message to Latin America, thank you so much for your support. Everybody in Peru, everybody in Argentina, everybody in Mexico, thank you so much for the support. And one day when I become champion, I'm here for you.
Una cosa más.
¿Qué más?
Gracias a todo mi equipo de UFC PI México, al Alpha Team. La verdad que me han sumado mucho mi nivel, mi carrera, mi mente. Así que muchas gracias, estoy muy agradecido con ellos y aquí no para, esto recién empieza.
And to all those at the UFC, PI Mexico, Alpha Team, listen, you have raised my level. You have just made my mindset. You helped me on the mental side. This is just the beginning. It doesn't stop here.
Juan, felicidades con el triunfo. Aparte de lo que hablaste con Jero de debutar en diciembre, estar a la cartelera de Merab y la cosa, ¿cuáles otras metas tienes? Para que un día veamos este video y digamos, man, él dijo que quería las más finalizaciones, peleas de la noche, estar en eventos por paga, lo que sea.
Sí, quiero ser un peleador emocionante que finaliza las peleas y, o sea, si me dan bono, mucho mejor. Nada, poder llevar algún día el UFC a Perú también o que vuelva a Argentina y por ahora son metas a corto plazo que veo que se pueden hacer.
As far as, you know, not only you mentioned to be a champion, to actually be very active in UFC, other goals, well, it's to be a very exciting fighter, somebody that finishes, to forget the bonus even better, perhaps to take the UFC to Peru one day, perhaps to take it back to Argentina, and that goals just keep coming.
Y finalmente para mí dijiste que quieren que sepan el nombre, el apodo, todo, o sea, el rollo de lo que es Juan. Pero aparte de eso, qué increíble es o qué locura decir, un día tuviste este sueño, estamos aquí y no nomás es parte de este capítulo del UFC, pero en 2 meses van a Paramount Plus. O sea que en esta era tú vas a ser parte del que lleva la bandera en alto. ¿Cómo se siente eso? O sea, si lo puedes poner en palabras.
Y en palabras es la verdad que me enorgullece porque cuando yo empecé esto el UFC lo veía muy lejos, muy lejos, pero ahora ya que soy parte de esta empresa, la verdad que es muy motivador, me da mucha felicidad, me da mucha paz y nada, me siento muy contento por todo el trabajo que he estado haciendo y me siento aún más contento porque sé que queda un buen camino por recorrer.
As far as the legacy and everything, I mean, how does it feel to actually be a part of the UFC in this special moment? It's just, you know, besides being a fighter for the UFC coming from Latin America, but in, with the new TV contract and everything that's coming up, and it gives me a great source of pride just because everything seems so far away so many years ago. And now the fact that I'm here, it gives me a lot of pride to be able to do this. And more than that, just the journey that I know that there's a great path in front of us and to be very proud to be part of this organization.
Felicidades y suerte con todo, man.
Muchas gracias.
Just one quick one. You mentioned the elbow, and it was a fantastic elbow. We've seen fighters try that over and over again, and you mentioned that you would practice that in the back. How many times have you drilled that in training, and what is the key to landing a perfect elbow like that to end a fight?
Hablando de entrenar ese codo giratorio, que lo entrenaste, mencionaste que te hicieron entrenarlo, que también lo hiciste en el vestuario. Hay muchos peleadores que intentan varias veces y no lo logran. Quizá por el tiempo, por el timing, lo que sea. O sea, ¿cuánto va de entrenamiento para hacer eso y cuánto bueno es lograrlo?
Y la verdad que, lo he entrenado en cada sesión de striking, lo entreno, en cada sesión de sparring lo intento. Y ya cuando lo veo, lo tiro. Y si pega, pega. Y si no, no pasa nada, la pelea sigue.
Listen, in every training, in every sparring, I try. And if it doesn't, then during the fights, I try. And if it doesn't happen, listen, nothing happens. The fight continues, right?
Thanks.
You up there.
What's up, bud? Sure, bud.
Get the seat of honor up there.
Aí, ó. Tranquilão, relaxa.
Mission accomplished. Congratulations on that win and getting the contract. How does it feel?
Missão cumprida, parabéns pela vitória. E pelo contrário, como é que você se sente?
Cara, eu me sinto muito bem, pela honra e glória de Deus. É muito bom estar aqui no melhor evento do Brasil. Eu estou muito feliz de verdade mesmo. Só Deus sabe a felicidade que eu estou sentindo no meu coração.
Very happy to the honor and glory of God. The fact that I'm here, to be feeling so happy to be in the greatest event and being from Brazil. It's a lot of happiness in my heart that I'm feeling right now.
Absolutely. It's a great way to piggyback off of that. We just saw Oliveira do his thing in Brazil. The talent continues, the divisions, the UFC in and of itself just grows with that Brazilian power, if you will. How important is to be part of that legacy now? How much of a responsibility is, and are you prepared for that?
Então, vou falar agora das coisas que estão acontecendo, como o Brasil vai bem nesse momento. Você vê o momento, né? Se ele fala agora do Charles, o que aconteceu, né? Importante. Quanto que é legal você ter as semanas que o Brasil teve agora e você continua esse embalo?
Cara, é muito bom a gente por mais que a dificuldade do Brasil esteja difícil para a gente, mas é muito bom estar aqui, né, num mundo diferente. Para mim é a primeira vez que eu vim para fora, nunca tinha vindo para fora e é muito gratificante estar aqui. É muito gratificante levar o nome do Brasil no peito. É muito gratificante trazer mais uma vitória para o Brasil, porque muita gente ainda não me conhece, mas ainda vai me conhecer. Mas eu estou levando no peito a nação brasileira.
It's very happy. You feel very happy and very proud of representing Brazil. It's to carry that in your chest and carry that close to your heart to represent Brazil. For all the difficulties that we have back home, this is my first trip overseas and to be able to experience this, and just I'm very, very proud to represent our country. I'll tell you, for those that don't, if you don't know me, one day you will know me, and I will be representing the Brazilian people.
I can't wait to see that, by the way, because just seeing you right now as Fabiano's translating, you're so happy. You just look at you're in such peace, such joy, and you can't wait. When do we see you in here? You're going to get these questions all the time. What's your ideal debut? Turnaround time, opponent, Brazil, Vegas, fight night. Anything comes to mind at this moment.
E dá para sentir que você está feliz pelas suas entrevistas, a maneira como você responde as perguntas, a maneira como você reagiu. É uma pergunta que o Amanda sempre faz, que quando que você gostaria de começar a lutar? Quando que você vê a tua próxima luta? Depois de uma luta, ele sempre pergunta, e aí, qual é o próximo desafio? Se você tivesse a tua cabeça assim, olha, idealmente agora eu gostaria de lutar X data agora, sabendo as datas dos UFCs, algum lugar que você queria, um oponente que de repente você tem na cabeça. Contra quem que você gostaria de lutar? Se você tem, onde, quando?
Eu estou pronto, só tem que cuidar de algumas coisinhas só, né? Eu estou 100%, a gente tem que lembrar que a gente está em outubro ainda, né, certo? Então, ainda tem muito tempo ainda, o ano ainda não acabou. Então, eu estou preparado, só tem que fazer alguns ajustes e eu estou preparado para lutar. Estou aqui, estou pronto. Sem nenhuma lesão, pela honra e glória de Deus. Só como eu falei, só acertar só algumas coisinhas. Mas eu estou pronto. A gente está em outubro ainda, não se esqueça.
I mean, we're still just in October, right? So I'm ready. I mean, we just have to fine tune some things. But I'm ready. As you can see, I have no injuries whatsoever. Nothing's hurting. Just as a matter of making some adjustments. But I'm ready. I'm ready. As I said, it's just in the honor of God. I'm ready to go. All they have to do is just just make some final adjustments, and I'll be fighting.
Good stuff, Levi. You don't have to get ready if you stay ready. Please walk me through this finish, because you're the last fight of the night, last fight of the season, and a lot of it for this main event, was how Freddie was brought back and so on and so forth. But you kind of took that energy and said, no, this is my night. I'm going to do my thing. And the way you were able to finish your opponent in that first round was just an absolute masterclass in striking.
E a maneira, não tem maneira melhor de ficar pronto do que estar sempre pronto, como você me falou. Fala um pouquinho para a gente do passo a passo, da maneira como terminou a luta, porque muito da história hoje primeiro, uma noite com 6 lutas. Segundo, a última luta da noite, a luta principal. Terceiro, a luta da temporada, né? Acabou a temporada ali, vocês foram a última luta da temporada e a história era do Fred Vidal voltando. Porque ele teve aquela luta, então vou dar uma chance para ele, vai voltar, e você foi lá e simplesmente parou as iniciativas dele e finalizou a fatura. Então, fala pra gente como é que foi o final dessa luta.
Cara, eu estava vindo já de uma luta no LFA e a maioria pensaram que eu estava parado, porque da última luta que eu fiz não foi uma luta muito boa, que eu estava lesionado. Então, muitos ainda não conhecem o meu jogo, né? Da última luta que eu fiz, parecia uma luta de amador, mas graças a Deus eu ganhei, mas feio. E fiz essa última luta no LFA por nocautes e na quarta-feira eu estava trabalhando e nisso eu recebi a ligação. Nisso que eu recebi a ligação, falaram se eu queria lutar. Aí eu fui e falei assim, não, eu quero lutar sim. Aí meu empresário e meu professor falou assim, não, mas você não vai lutar mais aqui no Brasil, você vai lutar fora. E eu falei, eu estou pronto, eu vou fazer a diferença. E aí quando eles falaram que era o Contender Series, eu falei, era tudo que eu queria. Treinei mais e mais e mais. Treinei todos os dias, eu estava treinando, todos os dias. Eu vi o meu oponente, vi o Vidal, totalmente respeito ele, mas não era o momento dele. Ele pegou um cara que que tem um sonho desde os 12 anos de idade. Eu não sei a vida dele, respeito a família dele, respeito a vida dele, mas eu tenho certeza que ele não passou o que eu passei. Eu tenho certeza que tudo que eu passei na minha vida, todo o processo, tudo que eu passei na minha vida foi para mim, como posso dizer, para mim crescer cada vez mais e ser a nova versão de hoje. Então, hoje eu estou aqui para fazer história, fazer a diferença e glorificar o nome de Deus, porque eu não sou nada sem Deus. Deus é o caminho, a verdade e a vida. Não se esqueça disso.
So after my last fight, so I had a fight in LFA, and I want. Listen, if people saw my last fight, they probably thought I wasn't working, because I wasn't working since maybe my last fight. If you watch the fight, I won. I won ugly. Thankfully, I won, but it looked like I looked like an amateur there. But I knew that, and I was working right away. Okay, and I was actually going back to work, and I got the call on Wednesday after the fight, and that fight was on Friday. So on Wednesday, I got the call, and they said, "Listen, you have a next fight for you." Well, yeah, I'm ready. It's fine. Like, let me. Like, I want to fight. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I want to fight again. And go, well, the fight's not here in Brazil. Like, okay, well, we fight overseas even better. Like, oh, good. Let's do this for first time. Well, it's for Contender Series. Let's go. Oh, you don't understand. We're gonna get ready for this. So, the training, I trained like never before. I dedicated myself. Like, I would just put on in the work just to be ready for this. And I knew that this was happening. And again, I saw my opponent tonight, but it wasn't his moment, and I respect him. Like, I don't underestimate anybody, but I respect his family. I don't know. He's probably gone through things in life, but he hasn't gone through what I've gone through. I can rest assured I have gone through things. I have a dream since I was 12 years old to be here, and believe me, he was not going to stifle that dream. So it wasn't his night, and no matter what he threw at me, I was ready to go. I did not come here to be someone else. I came here to make my dream come true. I came here to make history. I came here to make a legacy and to honor God, because I would not be here. God is the truth. God is the path, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
Sir, appreciate that, and thank you for that. That makes this that much more meaningful. Last for me, you hinted towards things being maybe not okay at home. You have the platform, you have the floor, and now you got the eyes on you. Educate us. Bring something. Tell us what we need to know about back home, Brazil, anything that we should be made aware of now that you got the microphone, literally and figuratively, that the world is listening to your voice.
E você falou em alguns momentos que a vida foi difícil. A vida foi cheia de desafios, que as coisas não estavam 100%, né? Você mencionou a história sem desmerecer o Vidal, mas você falou que você passou por muita coisa. Agora você tem uma plataforma, você está com o microfone, você está aqui, então conta pra gente um pouquinho da vida. Só explica pra gente como é que foi e por que as pessoas precisam saber. Porque agora você tem a oportunidade, você tem o microfone na mão e o mundo inteiro está escutando. Você pode falar um pouquinho da história e só dizer o que significa para as pessoas você estar aqui.
Como eu falei, né? Passei por muitas dificuldades. As dificuldades que eu tive na minha vida começou quando eu fui fazer a luta no LFA, que eu quebrei minha mão. Quebrei a mão, quebrei o dedo e não tinha convênio. Ainda não tenho convênio porque eu tenho que correr atrás, né? Como eu trabalho, né? Então a vida, como eu falei, a vida no Brasil não está fácil, tudo muito caro e patrocinadores, parcerias é muito difícil. Então a gente tem que fazer a correria. E quando eu quebrei minha mão, eu fiquei 6 meses parado. E eu pegava uma grana da luta, era uma grana boa do LFA, tal. Então eu fiquei parado e minha mulher ajudando só ela em casa. E aí minha mão melhorou, o Glória tinha melhorado e eu falei para ela que eu ia fazer o jiu-jitsu para voltar em forma, tal. E quando eu fui fazer o jiu-jitsu, eu fui fazer a entrada de uma queda e eu senti uma dor muito forte na minha coluna. Eu não sentia minhas pernas e caí no chão. Nisso que eu caí no chão, eu não sentia mais minhas pernas e eu queria levantar. E quando eu tentava levantar, a moça falou que não era para me levantar. E aí veio a maca, tudo, e só estava eu e minha esposa nesse dia. Eu lembro de tudo. E os médicos pegou a gente de maca, colocou eu no canto e deram um remédio para poder passar a dor. E nisso eu fiquei uns 40 minutos ali. E aí passou a moça, perguntei para a moça se eu tinha ganhado, pelo menos tinha pegado o pódio. Ela me falou que eu tinha. E aí eu levantei com muita dor e fui lá pegar a medalha em terceiro lugar e tal. E nisso eu fui embora para casa, minha mulher foi dirigindo, né? E nisso quando eu fui levantar, eu estava totalmente travado, não consegui levantar. A gente foi almoçar, não conseguia levantar. E a gente foi para o hospital. Chegamos lá no hospital, fez exames, tal, tudo, mas pelo SUS, né? Então só tirou só raio-x. Então no raio-x não aparecia as coisas. E aí conseguimos fazer uma ressonância, né? A gente fez uma ressonância e nessa ressonância eu fui ver que tinha hernia de disco. E todos os médicos falaram que era para mim fazer cirurgia. E as dores foram cada vez aumentando, aumentava. E tudo foi, sabe, perdi patrocínio, perdia tudo, parcerias, não conseguia levantar. Fiquei 6 meses de cama, não conseguia levantar, sabe? A minha esposa tinha que dar banho em mim. Eu não conseguia fazer nada. E eu conheci o Marquinhos, que é fisioterapeuta, especialista em coluna. E nisso ele me abençoou através do Felipe. Ele me abençoou, falou que não ia cobrar de mim, falou que ia me ajudar. E não só ele, várias pessoas, meu empresário tentava ajudar. Então todo mundo foi colocando a mão e cada vez ficava piorando a dor da hernia de disco. E todos falavam para mim poder fazer a cirurgia, mas não era 100%. E o Marquinhos, usado por Deus, falou que não era para mim fazer a cirurgia. E nisso eu acreditei nele, confiei nele e comecei a fazer os movimentos. E nisso eu tomava muito medicamento, tomava injeção, pregabalina, tudo quanto é tipo de medicação forte, mas nada adiantava. O meu corpo era todo pipocado, tudo preto, sabe? Cheio de bolinha. E não fazia nada, não conseguia levantar, não conseguia fazer nada. Minha esposa chegava meio-dia, fazia comida, dava para mim. Eu não conseguia tomar banho, não conseguia colocar uma cueca, não conseguia ir no banheiro direito. E ela me fortalecendo que eu queria desistir de tudo. Queria largar tudo e ir embora. E ela estava lá comigo e falava para mim não desistir. Eu falei, não, eu não quero mais saber disso, não quero saber de luta, porque quando a gente mais precisava de alguém, quando a gente mais precisou de alguém, todos abandonaram a gente. Me abandonou, né? Mas eu tenho graças a Deus que antes de conhecer o meu mestre, Munil, antes eu treinava com outro treinador que era o mestre Revira Black Team. E todo dia ele me ligava. O meu outro professor Bruno me ligava às vezes, mas o mestre Revira era constantemente me ligava e meu empresário me ajudando. Então, eu agradeço essas pessoas também que estavam em volta de mim. O mestre Munil, quando eu precisava fazer outra ressonância, ele ouviu minha conversa, eu lembro até hoje. Eu estava sentado, tudo torto, vendo meu amigo treinar, que eu fui apresentar para o mestre. Eu tudo torto. Mas eu fui lá para ajudar o Isaac. E ele ouviu, eu estava fazendo uma vaquinha para mim poder fazer outra ressonância. E ele ouviu. Aí ele falou, você está precisando de fazer ressonância? Eu falei, estou, mestre, mas eu vou fazer uma vaquinha. E eu não estava nem na equipe. E ele passou do meu lado e falou, cara, você não precisa fazer isso. Eu vou dar para você essa ressonância que o Marquinhos tinha pedido. E essa ressonância era 2 conto, 1.500. Como que eu ia conseguir se eu não estava trabalhando? E minha mulher estava sozinha. E nisso, a gente fez a ressonância. Aí a gente entrou com o procedimento das movimentações. E aí, totalmente, fiquei 2 anos parado. E pela honra e glória de Deus, um dia eu levantei, sem dor, sem fazer cirurgia, somente as movimentações. E com Deus no controle, e aí eu voltei a lutar de novo. Foi isso. Então eu falo hoje, eu tenho certeza, respeito o Vidal, mas eu tenho certeza que o que eu passei, eu tenho certeza que eu não quero que ninguém passe isso, porque é uma dor insuportável, não tem como explicar para vocês. Só quem tem hernia de disco sabe, L5S1. Eu não sentia nada nas movimentações da minha perna, não conseguia baixar, não conseguia fazer nada. E pela honra e glória de Deus, hoje eu estou aqui, fazendo o que eu amo de novo, para dar o melhor para minha família, para os meus filhos e principalmente para minha esposa. É isso que eu tenho que falar para vocês hoje.
Back in my career, in fights in LFA, I actually broke my hand. As you can see, there's a scar there on my right hand, and I broke it. Obviously, that was something. Had to go through a lot of rehab, a lot of moments in doubt, but still, my wife was there, and just at that point, you obviously have to continue because of everything that happens as a result. I don't have health insurance. A lot of people don't have it, so you just have to continue to pay your bills and try to go through stuff to recover. And you have to pay your bills. Obviously, there's some money from LFA, but still, you have to make ends meet. At this point, I'm recovering. You gain weight. And I thought, well, let's go back into training and let's ease back into training. And I told my wife, I'm going to do jiu-jitsu because let's go get back in shape, just get the strength back. I'm in a jiu-jitsu tournament, and actually I go for, just trying to grapple and shooting to a takedown. And I just felt a sharp pain in my lumbar area, and I couldn't feel my legs. So the entire place stopped. People are just wondering what happened. I don't react. I don't feel my legs at all. I'm just there. They have to bring, girder out. Like they're just taking me out. And I even had the presence of mind to ask, hey, what happened? I could barely walk. And I got third place at least, so I got that. But walking was hard. I was able to make it out of there. And then we go back and to go get something to eat, and I just basically I'm like, I'm just shot. Like I can't do anything. So at this point, I can't move, and the pain is just horrible. I can't do anything. I can't train. I can't move, and that lasted pretty much 6 months. So and I remember my wife, and everybody gave up on us, but my wife, she didn't. And she stayed there. She had to go to work. She would come back at noon, had some money, but still, she had to come back and tender to me and take care of me. And people were just obviously quitting. There was no end in sight for this. Months kept going. It was hard for us all with nothing as far as health insurance. They would only get through public health care. You get just an X-ray that does not detect anything on your herniated disc. Eventually, we're able to get a MRI, and I remember that people just don't, no one was there, and people kept saying you need to get surgery, and she said, no, you should not get surgery. You should not get surgery. This is not for you to do right now. I don't think you should get surgery. That's not the time for you to get it. And it was hard. We were still, pain was there. It was tough. There were moments that I just needed. Things I was just all crooked and everything, and I still remember. And then, obviously getting back to people that helped me and the people that believed me. She believed in me, and that's how I ended up meeting Master Munir right there, and he's been with me since. And I remember him. I used to actually train back with Rivera, black team, and Rivera used to call me all the time as well, just to check up on me. So there were people that were just checking up, but there were so many people. Everybody was on me trying to help me out, and including there was a time that I brought Isaac, one of the guys that trains with me, to train with Munir, and I couldn't bear. I was crooked bringing him to the gym to train with him, and he overheard that the pain was ridiculous, that I couldn't bear it, and when I saw it, they were actually just kind of pulling in together to pay for an MRI for me, so they got it. And everyone said that I should get surgery. And my wife says, like, you should not. Like, I don't think it's the time for you to get surgery. This is going to be too bad on you. And through someone that I knew, Felipe, I got to know, and a guy that I think is mentioned plenty of times is Marquinhos, Little Marcus. Someone who's in physical therapy, a doctor, somebody who actually takes care of people. He actually said, I've seen worse, and I'm going to take care of you. But there's a lot, I mean, meds and everything, skin was horrible, just looked bad, looked like I was sick all the time. At this point, this whole process lasted about 2 years in which I couldn't do absolutely anything, no fighting, no anything of the sort, and not knowing, and the pain was ridiculous. Surgery was recommended by every single person, and my wife and Little Marcus told, no, we are going to do this conservatively through movement, through rehab, that's what you're going to be doing, physical therapy. You're going to go through this. A lot of pain to the process, but he said, listen, do you believe in God? Do you believe that you can be healed? They're like, yeah, you're going to get through this without it. And months went on, and I did it through movement and through rehab. And one day, I got up, and I had no more pain. So that's why I tell people that I am here because, of God's glory and mercy, because that's the entire story amounts to. And again, I'm not dismissing Freddie Vidal, and I'm not underestimating his struggle. I'm sure he had it. But no one has gone through what I've gone through because I couldn't use my hand to punch. I didn't know if I was going to walk. Only people that have gone through a herniated disc and know what an L5-S1 means. It is a pain that it is indescribable. You feel useless. But this is what I went through. Here as I am. I'm proof that there are people that are with you. You believe in them. And I know what I've gone through to be where I am right now. And that's what I wanted you to know.
Thank you for sharing that. Welcome to the UFC.
Obrigado por compartilhar isso. Bem-vindo ao UFC.
I just want to throw one on that. You could see the emotion on your face after you got the contract, and I know what this meant for you and what it meant for your wife. Did you get a chance to speak to your wife after your performance? And maybe what did she say back to you if you were?
Só queria fazer uma perguntinha. Dá para ver a emoção lá na entrevista e aqui também. E você fala bastante da tua esposa, da Paula. Você conseguiu falar com a Paula já? E o que ela falou para você?
Eu liguei para ela e quando eu acabei falando com ela, a primeira palavra eu olhei para ela e falei, amor, a gente conseguimos chegar. A gente chegou no nosso objetivo. Ela falou, amor, a gente chegou. E pela honra e glória de Deus, o nome de Deus vai ser glorificado, porque a gente chegou no melhor evento do mundo, o UFC.
I was able to speak to her and was able to put in a word with her, and I just looked at her and I said, we made it, love, we made it. And she said, love, we made it. And by the honor and glory of God, we made it. We made it the biggest event in the world, the UFC.
Thank you.